We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you.
Welcome everyone tonight to this wonderful event we have planned tonight, the Esports Premier 2023 Assetto Corsa Competizione Qualifier 1, brought to you by Esportz.in and Smart Lock Screen Partner and Glance. Join with me, I'm Moto, and join with me is Kapil Bharat. And welcome, Kapil, to this wonderful evening we have planned ahead of us tonight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's an exciting time to be here because we are going to start a very exciting journey here at Esports Premier Racing, the series, I believe, where we've had a lot of events across multiple titles, and now it's the sim racing time. So, yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, welcome all. And yeah, let's just talk a bit about what we have planned ahead of us. Why not, couple? So today is the qualifier one. We head to Silverstone. Assetto Corsa Competizione is a very intricately detailed sim with a lot of characteristics at play, including downforce levels, wind resistance, and whatnot. And today we have the Group 1, a collection of 30 drivers which will take to the track and battle it out in the series of 3 events. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, Kapil, you have anything to add to this wonderful session we have ahead of us? Like, what do you think is going to
Yeah,
be on prospect?
I think it's interesting. Let's take a moment to let our lovely viewers know what is going to be on store for today. So to talk about the schedule, so as Moto alluded to before, today is day one, and day one we have Group One, and the schedule consists of 3 sessions. So you have a qualifier to begin with. So I believe all our participants for the day are already on the server, along with everybody on track. The marshals, the observers, everyone's essentially ready. So we begin in a couple of minutes of time for qualifier one, which is a 20-minute session. This is in Silverstone, as Moto pointed out, followed by a Super Bowl. So the top five move on to a Super Bowl. We'll walk through what a Super Bowl is for those who are new to the scene. We'll keep you posted on what's happening on track. After that, we take a short break. Then we move on to two races. The first one is a half an hour race again in Silverstone. The grade is set by the qualifying order. Then we move on to Zolder, which is in Germany, where we have another 30-minute session with the same grid as the end of qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a slight correction there, Kapil. The first races we have is Zolder and then it's Silverstone, but no harm done in that. Yeah, so yeah, a qualifying of 20 minutes in Zolder, one of the most technical circuits we've seen on this game, on the sim. So it's going to be interesting to see what setup changes and how they're going to set up the car in this very tight and narrow circuit of Zolder, which is in which is in Netherlands. And yeah, we have a group of 30 drivers. Let me just introduce you to the grid. We have Shantanu, we have Kana, who's sadly not taking part today. We have Ketan, we have Manu, Davlish Singh, one to keep an eye out on. Prithvi as well, another one to keep an eye out on. Ajish, Deepak Raj, Nikhil, and Hari. So these are the drivers which are going to take part tonight in the first qualifier sessions we have planned ahead of us. So yeah, again, Silverstone is going to be a 20-minute qualifying, a battle on the track where you come into a qualifying session where you think of a race, you're battling with other cars, and qualifying you're tuned in, you're one with the track. It's my favorite session to watch because every single car is on the edge, they're fighting for their lives. The cars are set up in such a way where you want to extract the most amount of lap time you can from it. So it's going to be exhilarating, especially in these GT3 cars, which can carry a lot of speed through some of these corners we can see. So yeah, I mean, sim racing is it's coming up. It's coming up in India. It's such a big thing, and it's going to be interesting to see how esports and sim racing take to the big stage in India. And I think this is a breakthrough.
Absolutely. I think we are just about ready to get started with our first qualifying session. So without further ado, let's get on to the action.
All right, welcome everybody to Silverstone. Yep. Right now, we are on board Davli Singh. Yeah, Davli Singh in the Ferrari. Interestingly, 18 minutes down already in this session, and yeah, couple as you can see, we have a driver on the track. So what do you? Let's talk a bit about the session. Why not? What do you think is the approach you want to take into qualifying for such a big event? You want to go all out in qualifying, or do you want to take it slow and slowly ramp up your times, or do you want to just push on from the get-go? What do you think is going to be the right strategy for the drivers right now?
Well, it's just a 20-minute session, and every lap is over 2 minutes long, or nearly 2 minutes long for the pros out there. So you would want to keep up that momentum. You probably fuel up your car for the entire session and just go guns blazing. So it's easy. The tires can easily take you the entire 20 minutes without any loss of performance. And as you can see, WCA is just absolutely taking every inch of the track and then some. ECC is quite strict when it comes to invalidation of laps, so we might see one or two for those who really stretch the limits. But yeah, it's definitely no time to breathe here. This is the time where it counts, primarily because of how the entire series has been set up for Qualifier 1. If you'll allow me to kind of walk through what that means, we've got qualifying and race, obviously, and what we mean by every session has so much at stake. When we mean by qualifying, particularly, of course, it's just the grid up for the race, but more importantly, the prize pool that we have, which is 50,000 rupees for qualifier 1, is all dependent on these 20 minutes and every other qualifying session for each group. So it's kind of imperative that they get the best lap time right now so that they cement their position on the leaderboard for that top race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's imperative that they are on the get-go and on the throttle as soon as possible. As Davli shows there, a bit too eager, but he managed to get that overstick corrected very easily. As he comes across, sets a casual 157. No harm done. Just
Nothing,
a very
yeah, no
rapid lap
harm.
time. Yeah. Yeah, great lap, great banker lap. A banker lap, folks, is if you're new, is basically the lap which a driver sets, the first lap a driver sets to just set his standards into what he's expecting. And a banker lap can make or break your session. In fact, if it's not a very good one, you're just going to lose that much time and that much confidence throughout the session. So yeah, very important that he's had a good banker lap in, and yeah, he's done so with a 157. P2, I can't quite see what the time is, but P3 was a 2-minute 2, so that's quite a ways off from Davlish there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what other drivers can do to challenge the driver in P1. Let's talk a bit about the circuit. Why not? Silverstone. I mean, it's known as the home of motorsport. The very first Formula One race was set in Silverstone back in the early 50s, I think. And in GT3, it's a bit different. The starting line is somewhere else compared to F1. It's the old pit straight. But it doesn't change much. But yeah, GT3 cars are not very kind on Silverstone because it's a very high speed circuit. And in these cars, while they do have the downforce, they do not have that much downforce compared to F1. So you're going to see a bit sluggish through the fast corners, but still, it's more. What matters most is how much you can extract from that sluggishness, because a driver's importance in a lap comes in all the slow speed sections, because that's where he spends the most time in a lap. But yeah, on board with Axel Sam, who's in the Lambo. Very interesting choice from Axel there. And coming across to the Vale chicane, very neatly done. You want to go into a slow in, a slow in, fast out exit. And you want to be a very smooth on your steering inputs. You can see the rear of the car rotating before the front there as he chucks it into Abbey there, into the loop section, turns the car in with the brakes. Rail braking goes a bit too wide there, but gets the car turned in nicely for the loop section. Again, one of the most technical parts of the circuit where it's all low speed. So again, it's very important that you drive the car with the brakes and throttle and rotate with the car with the brakes and throttle, as to not scrub too much speed off when you're steering the car in. So yeah, it's all that it bits. They all count to a lap. So it's very important that you sort of minimize all that lap time loss from doing those things. We go on board Deepak Raj in the Audi.
Who's
It's
just moved
159
in.
you can see. Yeah,
Yep,
go
he's
on.
just moved into P2, taking away Axel Sam, who's
Yeah.
unfortunately scrubbed up, not able to keep up, and does a 2-minute 3 to move into P3 right there. Deepak Raj going all slippy and slidey out into turn one, and that's probably not the what he was looking for in the start of his next lap. So this is probably going to be a washout. But yeah, interesting scenes here. W Singh out on top, Deepak Raj in P2, and Axel Sam in P3. That's your top three for qualify one as of almost half the session.
Yeah, half the session nearly done, and still, Tavlish still has a sizable lead as Deepak makes a bit of an error into Vale, and yep, he's going to RTG, which is return to garage, where you can just instantly teleport to the garage, so you don't waste more time going out on an out lap again, because time is money. Yes, literally, time is money in this event we have right now. So, yeah, it's important that they set their laps as soon as possible. Back with Axel Sam. Let's see how he's starting his lap. I think, yeah, into. Is he starting his lap? No, sorry, he's not starting
No,
his
I
lap.
think
He's
it
into
was a
Abbey.
cool
So
down
yeah.
lap this time.
Okay,
Yeah,
he's a
looking at
cool
it
down
like
lap.
this time around.
Yeah.
But an interesting situation. Let's have a look. See, so we've got Tejas one, who's Manupuri, who's in P4. I think Deepak Raj also just teleported back into the pits. As it stands right now, you've got, I want to say, the top four separated by a little less than 2.5 to 3 seconds. Just to kind of give everyone the spotlight, we've got KB Prithvi here, who hasn't necessarily been able to put a representative time yet, but let's hope that in the moments to come he gets something out and knocks it out of the park. Nikhil Sambre, aka Supreme Kai, he is out on the Aston. We've got Hari Krupanand on the Porsche, a very a sexy looking car, if I may say so. One which is very
Absolutely.
mid-engine. Yeah, it's just something that is a pleasure and a terror to drive. It's always on the edge, but
Yeah,
when you get it right, it will treat you with the best lap time there is. So he is out, I
absolutely. It's one of
think,
the lightest
on.
cars on the grid, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see how he fares with the last sector of his qualifying lap.
Yep, let's see. Indeed, winding up into the Luffield section again, a slow speed corner where the Porsche is actually quite quick because it's again I was mentioning one of the lightest cars and it's really easy to throw this car, bully it around the track, and that's how you're supposed to drive it. But yeah, as Kapil mentioned, it's quite on edge. So if you're too eager on the throttle, it could be curtains for you. Back on board with Deepak Raj as he finishes his lap. Yeah, that was a cool down
Yeah,
lap.
just
So not of importance, but I
now.
think yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely love that Skechers livery on the Audi there. Nice to see. A British brand as well. Why not? In through the Maggots and Beckett section where you're chucking the car in from corner to corner, gliding from apex to apex. You want to keep the minimum speed as high as you can and keep the momentum going as you head down to think Hamilton Straight, or I'm getting confused. I think it's another one. But heading down to the straight, where in F1 you have DRS, but in GT3 all you're relying on is the turbo, and into the slow corner, uphill and then downhill. So very easy to understeer on the exit and invalidate your lap. But Deepa keeps it well within the confines of the track. Into Wales section where you're chucking the car in, hitting the
oh,
apex. Ooh, loses a
losing
bit
the
of
rear
timing.
end there.
Yeah, a bit of real
Yeah.
locking action going on there, folks, which does suggest a very oversteery setup because the car is a bit nervous under braking and on turning, which is a very easy way to be fast if you can handle it. Into Abbey,
Oh,
chucking
he's
the
gone
car in
deep.
all on the edge of the circuit there, and into the loop section, hits that apex nicely, drifts out wide. We want to string together these apexes. Ooh, very wide there. I think that lap is a bit of a write-off from Deepak Raj, who's still in P3, so very commanding position there, and he's got quite a sizable margin to P4 there. So yeah, I don't think he'll be too worried about that, but you never know, someone could pip his lap time.
Yep, and let's not forget, no, he is not just competing against these 9 or 8 drivers on track. You've also got the rest of the groups out for the same prize pool as well. So he's against the clock. He's done a 59.8, not improving on this lap. He's 3 tenths away from P2, but he's got to make that lap count, and he's gone wide again. This is not looking good for him, but let's see if he can manage something better. Kavli Singh, 56.897, and he's improved to a 56.7.
Wow,
He is flying out there, ladies and gentlemen. And oh yeah,
absolutely,
he
folks.
is one to watch out
Yeah,
for.
I'm pretty sure he can, just reminiscing back to 2013 where Vettel did that, stalking lap in Singapore and just sat back in the grid, on the pit box and, just had a cup of tea, coffee, I don't know, chill back a bit. I mean, that's what Davlish can afford to do, but no, the racing instinct in him refuses to die off. He wants to put in a lap time which can surprise us even more as he's heading out once again to probably improve his time. I'm not sure if he can, but who am I kidding? He probably will. But yeah,
He probably
that's
will.
just the pure racing instinct in him, just refusing to sit back and relax on the grid in the pit box.
Well, we're nearly closing to what might be the last few laps of the session. So as it stands, Hari Krupanan and Manipuri, who is Tegas 1, P4 and P5 are the ones a little close to each other with 3.15 and 3.185 seconds away from W Singh. So we will have to see if the order changes within the last 6.5 minutes to go. Deepak Raj again scruffed up his lap again, so let's hope that he gets another one in which can be a little more cleaner, because time is ticking, Deepak, and you need to get a move on.
Yeah, time is ticking. That clock will just not slow down, even though he is on his laps. But here we go, on board Deepak Raj into turn one. Does he go wide again? No, nails that right on the edge as well. Now into Maggots and Beckett's again, where I mentioned I think the Audi is quite strong here because it's very keen on turning in. It's a very inherently oversteery car. Sorry, so it will benefit him quite a bit. Uh, no, I think he's managed that very well. Looked all very clean. A bit of
Very well
gravel picked
indeed.
up,
Yeah.
but no harm done. Yeah, into Stoke corner, uphill, right-hander. Let's see how he tackles it onto the cockpit camera, where you can see the drivers at work with the steering wheel, fighting that steering on the entry quite a bit, which again just takes us back to that rear lockup. Into Vale now, chucks the car in, doesn't quite kiss the apex enough, but it's fine. I think it's good. It's all in his it's all in good books. Gets it easily exit from the looks of it, and into Abbey now. Let's see how he tackles this corner. I think you slightly lift off
Beautifully
these
done.
cars, and yeah, beautifully done. No scrubbing on that tire. Couldn't hear a single tire screech. Into the loop section, notoriously difficult to get right and extract the exit from this corner because it's so awkward the way it comes at you. And boy, you don't want to kiss that big curve on the left there, otherwise that's your lap gone. But yeah, he does avoid it and charges out onto Luffield corner, braking just where that board, which tells you where the corner is going, is. Takes the curve, late apex there, nips the curve very nicely, drags out wide, as is the line in these cars where you want to get to the apex as quick as possible, as opposed to maximizing your corner speed time. You want to make sure you keep the minimum speed as high as possible. Gets a good exit out of there. And let's see, is this an improvement? Yes, it is. 2.193 seconds off P1, but it's P2. Beautiful lap from Deepak Raj there.
Yep, finally managed to get under the 59-second barrier, a 58.9. That puts him in P2. That's a good improvement there from Deepak, and that's exactly what he needed to get a chance. But
Yeah.
having said that, everyone else is on a lap. You've got Nikhil Sambre, who's just about to cross the line. He is only managed 4.4, and he improves to a 2 minute 6.95. So that's an improvement from him, which is always good to see. Who else? Who else is on track? We've got number 23. I think WC is just coming across the last. We're just about to finish his lap. We've got number 12. I believe that is Teg is one who's just started. Yeah, we've got everyone out on track. This is no time to be sitting around. But this is looking very, very spicy as we come towards the last 3 minutes of the session.
Yep, it's the final few minutes of the session where the nerves are going to be at play, couple. So it's very important not to let the time distract you and just go on board and just do your lap as if you had infinite time in the session, because if you're not focused enough or if you're distracted by if you're getting nervy, basically you have a chance of ruining your lap even more. So it's quite integral that these drivers just look away from the clock, which is ticking away slowly and surely, and just do their lap and just get a lap
Okay.
in, which can place them
Yep.
higher up the grid.
And that nerve shows in your driving as well. You become hesitant when you
Oh yeah,
turn in. You just don't get the line right. Get a little oversteer or understeer. It shows. The nerve is translated directly to your inputs, and it immediately shows. I think KP3, he has not had an ideal start to the session. He's kind of treating it like one single lap, if you will, down to the wire. So let's see if he can bring it out all when it matters. Because to keep you all informed, this is qualifying one. We're at the end nearly of this 20-minute session, followed by which we will have a Super Bowl. And just to keep that suspense going, we will explain what a Super Bowl is in a couple of minutes' time. But yeah, we are just about at the edge of the session.
On board with Sagar in the Beamer, massive car, but very quick and very, very fun to drive if I'm not wrong. Misses the apex a bit again. Again, you can see the wheel getting worked quite a bit, and the rear stepping out on the entry and the exit, which I think shows his car is again set up very, very oversteery. Or maybe the electronics are just tuned in that low. You don't want the interference to slow you down. But again, that in turn can punish for having a bit of throttle indiscipline. On board with Davlish, is he on a fly or lap? From the looks of it, it does look like he's pushing. Yeah,
Has
he
to be,
definitely
yeah.
is pushing. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, again, yeah, using all the track on the exit of the Maggot and Beckett section there into stow, chucking the car in right before the board. You want to brake, just a dab on the brakes, rotate the car lightly, and make sure you're steering it again very smooth, using all the track, folks. There you can see all the track being used right after the curbing. Chucks it into the apex, kisses it beautifully, gets a beautiful exit out of that corner. And yeah, it's looking like a very, very smoking lap. Kapil, you want to finish this peaceful lap. I think this is going to be
Absolutely, because he's just chucked it in there into Abbey Corner and breaking as late as possible, looking into the apex, hugging it beautifully, just navigating around this sector early out on the exit using all of the track and then some. And yeah, that is how you do it in Silverstone. I hope the cars that we're watching right now are now going to be impeding each other because Hari Krupanan is right on the tail of Tegis 1 right now and they're in the middle of the track. Now Hari might not be a very cool cucumber at the end of it because this is the end of the session. The max wait time, the timer is now ticking. Tegis 1 has completely missed the corner and so has Hari. It's a case of tunnel vision right now and it looks like there's a battle on track when there's qualifying going on. So I'm not really sure.
The race
what's
is
going
still a
on.
ways to go. The race is still a ways to
Yeah.
go, but you know what? I'm all up for it. A bit of chaos is always welcome. But the Porsche is not happy right now as he's just being impeded by the Beamer all the way through. Davlish, mind you, did improve. Couple, he improved by a tenth and a bit. He's 2.3 seconds up. Or is that, sorry, 2.2. So yeah, just a half a tenth up. The Porsche still being impeded into Luffield the go. And let's see if the Beamer actually does improve. This is the final corner he's going to have to navigate. And across the line. Wait for it.
He does.
Tegas 1 goes. Oh, yeah, he improves. Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
2.9
Krupanan does not. Mr. Krupanan has basically he's not happy. Let's put it that way. But
Yeah.
as it stands, yeah, 2.5 seconds. That's Mr. Krupanan's time, who's in P5. So he will still move on to the Super Pole. Unfortunately, the rest of the folks will not. So, Modo, do you want to let our viewers know what Super Bowl is all about? Because that's what
Oh,
we're
yeah,
heading into right
absolutely.
now. But, all right.
Yep.
So, before we do that, let's just take a breather. We've just had 20 minutes of exhilarating qualifying, and yeah, it is a little bit much to take because finally we're getting sim racing on the big stage, and I am super stoked to see that. We've got some lovely drivers out there who put out a valiant effort, and it's just the beginning. And I cannot stress enough how happy it makes me to see these folks finally getting that recognition from all their years of hard work.
Absolutely. It's great to have esports and motorsport esports on the big stage finally. So, it's just going to take us that much more forward in this field. But yeah, about that session, that was a great qualifying session. Davlish absolutely blitzing the field apart. 2.2 seconds clear of P2. With Deepak, with I think Nikhil Sambre and then Deepak, followed by Deepak in P3. So, yeah, good session for these drivers, and we're going to head on to Super Pole. So, folks, if you're waiting in anticipation as to what Super Pole is, it's basically imagine you have one shot you have one shot for a lap, and if you ruin that lap, it's over. So you get one out lap where you get to heat your tires, because this is a sim after all, and you need to heat your tires up and put them in the perfect window so you have the right lap time and the right temperature from the tires and the right feedback from the car, so you get to set that lap time. So you have that out lap, and then you have your flying lap, and then that's it. It's make or break during that lap. So if you invalidate, if you go off, if you screw up in any way, it's over. So yeah, Super Bowl is basically one shot, one opportunity. There's vomit on his sweater already. That's exactly what it is, and yeah, it's one of the most exciting things I think of ACC to watch.
Yeah, this is the definition of hard sim racing. There are no do-overs, there is no reset button, there is no reset, nothing. You do it, you screw up, you're done. You nail it, that's it, you're on the top step, and that's what matters. This is real life, this is as close as it gets to real life. That's exactly what we want to see.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, your consequences actually matter now on your qualifying lap. So, yeah, it's make or break. You have one lap. Nerves are going to be a big play. So, people who are very calm and collected are going to benefit from this. But that doesn't mean you don't push at all, because you still want to get a good lap in. And as Kapil, you mentioned before, where if you're driving with that low confidence, it can actually affect your lap time, right? So you take less speed in through a corner, and then you're carrying less, because you're carrying less speed. The car is not getting the full downforce. You're not going to be that much more stable through that corner, right? So your lines are going to be off. Your braking is going to be off. So it's very important to get yourself calm and collected and get your lap in, and that's all you want to do in the Super Bowl. Just get your lap in and get a good lap in.
Very wise words from our resident commentator, Mr. Moto there. Yep, keep a cool head and everything will be just alright.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so just taking a breather here while us, the commentators as well as the drivers, set themselves. It's that how would you put it? The TV show moment where there's an ad break going on and you're looking at our lovely faces. But in real life, you would see the very concentrated faces of our drivers as they set their sights ahead for what's to come, which is the Super Bowl. And I kid you not, folks, it's something that you're going to love watching.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so what do we have in store? So this is Esportz Premier Series 2023, and this is our third edition. And in this beautiful year-long competition, we have a new edition, which is Assetto Corsa Competizione, and that is where we are right now. So we will be back after a short break. So don't go anywhere, folks. A lot of action to come.
Yeah.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. my downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
And welcome back, folks. After that short break we took to the Esports Premier Series 2023 Assetto Corsa Competizione qualifying one. That's a mouthful if I'm not wrong. But yeah, we're back and we're ready for the Super Bowl, which is, yeah, as we just talked about it, an exhilarating session planned ahead of us. Track Silverstone, so the drivers are already very, muscle memory is going to kick in, and hopefully that's going to help them set their lap times in. But yeah, Kapil, you have any drivers on your mind who can surprise us right now in the Super Bowl
I
session?
think I want to go on a limb here and say that Hari is going to be surprising us. So he didn't have the best of. I mean, he just made it through. I want to root for him this qualifying round and see how he fares. But it's do or die. You have got one wrong turn. It's not like you can just stop the lap and say, "Hey, I'll just do it again." No, you don't get that opportunity. It's all or nothing. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. And I think we have the same weather conditions as well as the qualifying. So yeah, drivers are just going to, have the same track temperature. Let's talk a bit about the out lap because ACC, that's quite integral to the actual lap that you're going to set, especially in a Super Bowl because you only have one out lap to set your tires in. So I mean, you have quite a lot of experience in ACC as well. You've driven the sim quite a bit back in the day. So what would you say is a safe versus a unsafe approach to an outlap before the Super Bowl? Would you like go all out on your Super Bowl outlap, get your tires up to temperature quickly, but also risk getting them too hot or too over pressure, as you say, in ACC? Or do you want to take it easy and make sure your tires are not too hot, not too over pressure, and you can get them into that window during your lap? What would be a safer approach in your eyes?
ACC, you see, these these cars definitely need to be pushed. It's just one out lap, so it's not like it's simply gonna get into the window immediately. So yeah, we're just gonna switch to the game because we've got Madhupuri who's out on track while he does his hot lap, and before we get into the session, yeah, I'll talk about the outlap and the prep to it, but kind of so this is exactly what's going on. You see
Yeah.
Manipuri like swerving left and right aggressively because he needs to get that tire temperature in. This is not the fastest car in the world. This is not the slowest either. So you need to kind of rub in the tread, not the tread per se, but you need to drive up that
Surface rather,
temperature
right?
as quickly as possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's integral because okay, so it does depend, as all things in life, in the way you set up the car. It is very difficult to overheat the tires in ACC in one single hot lap, no matter how hard you try,
Yeah.
because you simply are not going that fast. So in that regard, it's just, I think the only thing from experience that I can say is you being in the best state of mind. You're gonna have your tire temp gauge on your screen to kind of guide you, saying that okay, I'm in the right window, let's hit it. Even if you're a little above, it doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters at the end is are you ready mentally to dive into turn one with the best approach, the right line, and just get breaking into turn one spot on, because that's gonna set you up for the rest of the lap. With that motto, why don't you say let us go with this Super Bowl?
All right, on board Tegas 1 in the Beamer, the biggest car on the grid. Approaching turn 1, not quite using all the track, but chucking the car in and keeping it within the lines, which is so integral. Taking a bit of the cross into the maggots in the Beckett section, but again, you can see the wheel at work, how smoothly he's taking these corners. You do not want to scrub your tires on the lap. You want to keep them for the latter part of the lap. And that was very nicely done through maggots. It's very smooth driving there from Tegas 1, or Manipuri, as his real name is, into Stowe Corner, braking just before that curbing starts on the left there, using all the track on the exit, and he's maneuvered that very nicely, safely, but I mean, better be safe than sorry. Into Vale, chucking the car in again, kissing the apex, all is out. Very smoothly. Getting very close to invalidating there, but I think he has. I think he might have, because there was a bit of a wiggle on the wheel. I'm not quite sure if he's invalidated or not, but there was a wiggle on the wheel. Was that a show of frustration, or was that just him getting hyped up for the latter part of the lap? I'm not quite sure, but let's go on board and still. And see, he's done the loop section very nicely, actually. Maybe the fact that he's invalidated, or the limiter has been lifted and he's just pushing all the way through, and that's why the line through there was so nicely done. But yeah, the suspense awaits not only the viewers but to us commentators as well, as we have no clue if it's invalidated or not. Into Luffield section, using a lot of curbing on the left there, completely decimating the turfing on the left, and you want to get a nice exit. Again, use all the track. So important to use all the track, all the estate you're offered, and then coming across the line. Yeah, it was an invalid
That
lap.
is an invalidated
Yeah, it was
lap.
an invalid lap. That's a bummer. Well, folks, that's Super Bowl had in full display at its finest. Go ahead with Porsche and take us on board. I think it's going to be a treacherous lap. Let's go and see what.
Oh yeah, you can hear the Porsche engine roaring through turn one. Oh, the eargasm there just listening to that beautiful engine. He is attacking those curves beautifully, just getting that angle right so that he can attack the next corner and the next and the next. The Porsche will give you that traction. It will turn for you. It's about you being able to thread the needle and not turn too much. And I think in this situation, Hari has done a fantastic job. He is pushing out there, and I'm loving the lap so far. Going into the Stowe, little swiggly on exit. He's missed the apex. He's going to look for a late apex, but slightly misses it on this crucial super pole. He's going to fifth gear, braking on the curb and then some, but again missing the apex completely, braking a little too late, and as you can see, he's not carrying that apex skill. It's become basically a flat out corner in this case because he's just not got that section right. But He's got one more sector to go. He's chucking it in there because his life depends on it in this case. Because this also sets up for the grid, breaking as late as possible into what is essentially turn 2 in the F1 style circuit. But we're going on to the last sector of the lap, using nice curbs there out of the exit, and a smooth transition into the straight. But it all comes down to all the little mistakes that he's made throughout the lap, and then a couple of big ones. But as he kind of hugs the last one, taking more of a double apex line, he's going to be coming across the line in a couple of second time. And let's see, has he invalidated? That would be shockingly disheartening for me. But he goes on to put a sub 2 minute lap. Not what he's looking for at the end of it, but it is what it is at the end of the day, which is one lap to rule them all, and that's his representation.
You could see that Porsche wanting to kill him in every single corner. But enough of that. On board with Sam in the Lambo. One of the best looking cars. Again, very safe to turn 1. Not even touching the curb. He wants his way from that white line. But into Maggots and Beckett's, the Lambo very, very smoothly just eating the curbs up for dinner. Gets the nice lines through that right-hander onto the straight, bounces down the straight, the Lambo engine screaming away in agony as he's heading down into Stoke Corner again. A corner where we've seen a lot of drivers make mistakes. Again, he's missed the apex by a bit there. But it's nice that he's not invalidated on the exit, because it's so easy to do so, especially on a super pole. Very beautiful apex through the Vale chicane there, chucking the car in, not touching the sausage curb at all. Battling down that exit, gets the power down nice and smoothly into Abbey. Very weird corner in these cars, actually, where the car, as you can see, the car just wants to turn away from you. It just does not want to stick. The rear end is just so loose under him there, but he's managed that very well. Now into the loop section, looping the car into this apex, and punches on the throttle, stamps on it, as you do with the electronics, pleading and begging away at mercy as you just ask as much as you can from the traction control. Into Luffy, watch out for the left arrow on the right there, a bit of an awkward one, missing the apex completely at Luffy there. I think he rode the brakes a bit too much, and that sort of harmed his entry into the corner there. Coming out of it, not quite using all the track on the left, and yeah, he's not going to be a very happy driver in that cockpit right now. And comes across only 3/10 off Porsche, but yeah.
And after all of that, after all of that, he's managed to go behind Hari. Hari's actually, for once, beaten 2 of the 5 folks out there, but the top 2 remain. And now Deepak Raj in his Audi R8 is flying. He's got perfect, I must say, near perfection on turn 1. That's going to give him that much needed confidence, taking all of the curb and then some into turn 2 there. That is showing you that this is an all or nothing lap from Deepak Raj, and he's here to make a statement. The way it works, for those who
is in the sim. Because he's not taking any risks at all.
Yep, and it is the best lap that you put in for both of these qualifying sessions that does finally be taken into consideration for the prize pool. So if he had any inkling of a doubt that he could do better after his qualifying session, this is the time to put out that statement, because you can see it right now. He's getting all those lines pitch perfect. Lovely Singh is also out on track on his out lap, and he's probably just getting into his zen mode, and he's got that gap, but he has to deliver as well. But Deepak Raj is a man on a mission. He is a little squirrely on that exit in this regard, getting a bit of the nerves getting to him in the last sector. Come on, Deepak, you got to keep it on the track, on the white stuff. You've just got a couple more corners to go, and you are on the home stretch. I think, honestly, this is a great showing from him. Obviously, he'll be kicking himself that he could have done better, but you get no do-overs, and that's the beauty of Super Bowl. It is what counts, and that's you've got one chance for it. Nice sweeping line across the final corner to use all of that curve. He's going to take the shortest distance to the line. And what kind of a lap time is it? It is a 1 minute
Oh,
58.6. That is his fastest lap of the entire day. And that's a good time.
wow. It's like he was treating all those qualifying laps in the previous session as bankers for this one. What a lap. But on board the behemoth in the Ferrari, this is where you can see a car being pushed to its absolute limit as he's on the edge of the circuit there, playing with the track limits, just fighting them, begging them not to invalidate, but yeah, torturing them as well, using all the track, all the estate he paid for, and then some. Coming out of the Magnussen Beckett section, beautiful exit there, using again the AstroTurf on the right hand side, which I don't think anyone has done yet, even though it won't even matter that much because it's just a straight. But he doesn't want to risk it. He wants that 1,000th, which all the drivers are missing out on. Still, as again, using all the track on the entry, breaking on the curb as well. Ooh, I think he nipped the sausage a bit, but no harm done, and gets a beautiful exit, stamps on the throttle, balances out of that corner very nicely, balancing the car on the edge with the brake and the throttle. That's how all these top drivers drive, with the brake and throttle, not the steering wheel. It's all in the pedals. It's all there in the feet, and he's using that to his advantage there. That skill he's attained. Into the loop section, chucking the car into the apex, the camber helping him turn the car in. This one a bit off camber, but he fights that off camber and very well, and gets a beautiful and a monstrous exit onto the straight right now. And heading down into the straight. He's going to watch out again for that board, but maybe he's going to break that much later. You can see the car wanting to fight away, wanting to veer off into the side, bit of oversteer. Manages it beautifully with the oversteer correction. So instantaneously that was. It was like it was a reflex action for him, using all the AstroTurf on the exit. And wow, that lap went by so fast, and I'm actually out of breath. And comes across the line. It's a 57.1, not quite a 56 from the actual session, but still 1.5 seconds clear of P2 is quite
goes to show you,
isn't it?
it just goes to show you that even at the end of all of this, there is a human in the car there, and he is also prone to mistake. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our Super Bowl session. 157.1 from W Singh, 158.6 from the Bakraj, a sub 159 from Hari Krupanand, who's in P3, a P4 from I believe that was, please correct me if I'm wrong, I've got terrible visual memory here, Manipuri, who did unfortunately invalidate his lap, and I believe P4 was, yes, Ajit Sen.
Yeah. Great Super Bowl session. That's what it all is about, folks. One shot, one opportunity. The nerves are at play. Your confidence is being tested. How focused you are is being tested. And all that surmounts to one lap, which you can proudly display on the board, on the leaderboard, as your lap under pressure. So, yeah, a good session. And I think we're ready for the race now, which is going to be a 30-minute race, if I'm not wrong, at Silverstone. And looking forward to that session.
We've got one more short break just to kind of cool down from some 5 exhilarating laps that we've just seen, and after that we will be back for the race, so don't go anywhere.
Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me.
And welcome back, folks, to the action that awaits us. Yeah, short break is over, and we're going to head on back to the track for a beautiful Silverstone race for 30 minutes. Yeah, all looking forward to this one. It's the first time these drivers are going to go wheel to wheel. They've had their time on track. They've had their time to learn the track. I mean, pretty sure they've learned it all before, but it's time to go wheel to wheel. And when their car's around you, it's a completely different ball game. So you're not fully attacking the car all the time. You have to preserve your. There's tire management. There's fuel management. There is racecraft involved. So it's a completely different ball game. So, do you have any names, couple, for us? Who do you think can excel in this session as opposed to qualifying?
Well, I should hold off this time because I just want to watch and just witness. Because qualifying is one thing, you're against the clock, but the race is where it really counts when it comes to the points. Just to kind of give everyone a heads up, we're just about to get away with the race. I think we can switch to it if we're all go with that. But to kind of explain the format, the top four from the group. So today is day one. There's going to be another day for this group as well. So each group that are a part of Qualifier 1 will get two opportunities, 2 days, and two set of tracks to go ahead and put their best lap forward, and also to battle it out on track and go for glory. So in terms of the prize pool, that's where the qualifying, that we saw here in Silverstone today, that's where it came out with Davlish on top and Deepak Raj in P2. But for the next stage of this Esports Premier Series, the points are what matter the most. So we've got 8 folks, and the top 4 from the end of 2 days. So we're still in day 1, so there's a lot more racing to do. But the folks with the best points, the top most points at the end of 2 days, will move on to the semifinals. So that's the format, and that's why racing is at the end of the day what gets someone from point A to point B in life as well. So that's what we're basically getting geared up for.
Yeah, very well put together. Yeah, races are what get you from point A to point B, and it's where the money is as well in this tournament. So let's talk a bit about the session now that I think we have the drivers still preparing in for the session, or I'm not sure about that, but yeah, we can talk about the session a bit. So qualifying, you set up the car to be the fastest over one lap or a few laps if you're doing a normal session. The race is, you've got a lot of laps. It's a 30-minute session. So you have at least, I'd say, around 10 laps, 10 or so laps, around 10 or 12 laps. Your tires are going to be crying by the end of it. Your fuel tank is going to be crying by the end of it. There's a lot to prepare. So you have your setup differences where you soften, you stiffen the suspension up, you raise the ride height of the car and whatnot. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the drivers are going to switch their driving style and the setups as well. The setups you can't quite see, but the driving style is going to be very evident. on the onboard cameras. So you can see a beautiful overhead shot of the drivers. Ready to go. I think we're already getting ready to start. The rolling start is accustomed to this GT3 format, so the cars are already with some momentum heading into turn one. Kapil, why don't you take us away with the race start?
Alrighty, and we are just about, and green lights in 3, 2, 1. Time for racing. We've got Doubly Singh on the inside and Deepak Raj on the outside. Will he send it? No, he thinks better of it. We've got not such a great start from Nikhil Samri in P6 out there. Deepak Raj hot on the tail of Doubly Singh. He's going to go down the inside, thinks about the move, but then backs out smartly because it is a long race. We've got, I believe that's Ajit Sam who's gone really wide. That's not looking good for him as he's stumbling down the order. What do you say, Moto? Is that a good start for him? Will he be able to make it back?
He's got a lot of pace on hand, but yeah, not quite the start he was hoping for. But had to, I don't know if he took evasive action or the car just dipped away from him. Again, these cars are going to be really tanked up to the max. Well, not the max, but much more heavy fuel compared to qualifying. So yeah, it could be a case of him just not being used to the weight difference of the car. The cars are going to be much more sluggish. They won't bite into the tarmac as they would in qualifying on the light fuel road. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers are going to manage around that quite a large difference in physics. As we see Deepak Raj, who is hounding Davlish into turn 1 and 2, but now
No,
he's
I
dropped off
have to
back
correct
foot
you
in
there.
P3. The Porsche is in P2. Where did
Yeah.
that come from?
Yeah, that's the interesting bit. I think he's had a bit of a moment out of Stowe, and he has dropped to P3. And Hari Gopalan, like from P4, he's up to P2. So a fantastic start for him. Now it's the point of the pace where it will really shine. Can he keep the pace up? Can he? I mean, it looks unlikely from what we've seen so far, but can he make any inroads on P1? Or is he just super satisfied saying that, you know what, P2 is as good as it gets. I'm going to take those points, if not anything else. So that's going to really push him towards that semi-final out there.
Yeah, absolutely. That Porsche in with the bang. The Porsche already a very light car. Maybe it's just being utilized more efficiently in this stage of the race right now. Because the car, compared to the Audi of Deepak, is going to be much more light. So that's why he's just so quick on the get-go. But it's also a well-known fact that the Porsche can eat tires for breakfast if you're not smooth with it. And it's really hard to be smooth with it with a car that's always trying to kill you into every corner because of where the engine is placed. It's on the back of the car, maybe, if I'm not wrong. Kapil, if you could confirm that, as opposed to the front of the car. So yeah, that's what the rear end is it's very heavy compared to the front end. So it just likes to step out that much more than the other cars. So the Porsche are doing a fantastic job in this stage of the race. The Porsche is looking very lively. Davlish, on the other hand, has a bit adieu to the grid and has already opened up a substantial gap in front of P2. Deepak though getting back the charge back on in through the loop section, very mechanical section, a lot of time spent on the brakes and just meandering through that throttle pedal, making sure you don't want the rear end to kick out and lose that chunk of time. But you can see on the onboard camera that Deepak's lines are just that much more neat than the Porsche, who's just sort of gliding or forcing the car in the corner, whereas Deepak is just sort of gliding through these corners and very smoothly done there by Audi driver, using quite a bit of curbing there very early. Oh, the Porsche gets a bit of tail fighting moment there, as evidently shown by the rear engine of the car. But yeah, this battle is going to be a hot one.
Yeah, I mean, Doubly Singh on the race pace is doing faster quality time than the rest of the field. He is checking out, ladies and gentlemen. He is gone. If we look at the minimap on the top, on the right side of your screen, he's already got, I want to say, 5-second gap. So I think we'll only probably see him at the end of the race. So say goodbye to dear Davlish for now, because he has well and truly checked out. But having said that, the race is with 4P2 right now. We've got Hari Krupanand, who's got that dream start, the one that he really wanted, and I think he's keeping decent tabs with Deepak Raj, which is good to see. His qualifying, and honestly, I might my favorite at the beginning of the session. So I'm happy that if not for the qualifying, where it really mattered is with the race, and he's got a good start. But as you will with time come to know, Deepak Raj is no slouch. Man is quite consistent, is quite pacey, is quite race, and he's quite determined. I might be putting stuffing a lot of words here for our dear driver here, but the lap looks to be steady right now. If anything, it's coming down sector by sector. So, Moda, how do you think this is going to pan out?
Yeah, Deepak is one to keep a very cool head. So he's going to take his time. He's going to suss out the lines of the car in front, where he's losing time, where he's braking early, where he's braking a bit too late for his own liking. And he's want to do that. He's want to be very patient with his moves, as you're supposed to in the sim. But here's one who's not very patient because he's already hot under the collar of the beamer in front of him. Is Sam, who had that offing in lap one, and that pace advantage he's got on the grid is being showcased right now as he's just hounding the mirrors, occupying the mirrors of this beamer in front. And I think he's going to get the move into turn one. He's got a beautiful exit. Is he going to go alongside? A very, very sketchy place to make a move is turn one because it's a very fast corner. And yeah, wise decision there to back out of it. But the Beamer, very nervous, gets his line completely wrong, which allows Sam to sort of go side by side, but then again backs up. He is not taking any risks right now. He wants to
Well,
make
I
sure
think
that
he's
car does not have a single scratch on it. Yeah.
totally, and I think he's positioned him perfectly for the kill
Beautiful,
right now. He's
beautiful line.
let
Sorry to
him
interrupt.
have the
I just
line.
had to. Yeah,
Totally.
beautiful line from the Lambo there. He got a sort of a cutback line on Maggots, but again, unable to get the pass turn. But you could see that racecraft on display again gets a beautiful exit alongside into Vale, who's going to break. The last one to break is the Lambo, who gets ahead, but then again, the Lambo of Sam gets a beautiful switchback, and that's the under and over on display. A very popular move in racing, the under and over, where you brake early and let the car in front make a mistake and cut back inside and get the move done. Yeah, beautiful display of racecraft by Sam there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, may I divert your attention to Dovely Singh, who has a plus 5 second time penalty. That is very
It doesn't
interesting.
matter, Kapil. I really don't think it matters to him or to anyone else.
Well, regardless, we're also having a battle for the last position right now. Shantanu has just dropped one, but now dropped two positions. Not looking good for him. And Ajit Sam has to claw back a lot of that lost time. He did not have the best of times to begin the race, but his pace did shine through the qualifying session. And now let's see if he can make any inroads to the rest of the pack. There is some significant gap, no two ways about that. Is a little over what, 7 seconds, 8 seconds. So he's gonna have to use all of the session to get that back, at least for a couple more points, and each point matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. Back on board with the Audi of Deepak. Still having to stare at the rear of the Porsche, which is something I wouldn't mind because that car has a beautiful rear. I would stare at it
Totally.
all day. Yeah, I would really. Yeah, it's got a beautiful tail light and. But yeah, Deepak I think has had enough of that, and he's getting ready to get the move done. Still sussing out the lines of the Porsche in front. And it's very interesting to see how patient he's being with his car, with his moves, and with his lines right now. He's very smooth on every single corner, making sure not to scrub the tires. Again, you can see where in qualifying, where everyone was fighting the car in that corner, you can see how much more smooth he's being. And there's a difference of lines between F1 and GT3 at full display, where he's not going back onto the outside, but rather sticking to the middle of the track. to get to that apex that much quicker, because these cars do not have the downforce to get that car turned in quick enough. But the Porsche, as we have a beautiful picture-in-picture there display by the broadcast, is very nicely done there on the top right of the screen there. But you can see how much more confident Deepak is with his braking and his throttle. He's just, well, as I've said, that he's had a bit of an oversteer moment, but very well managed there. Very quick to catch that oversteer and correct it. But yeah, the Porsche is something where you need to drive it either smoothly, or you need to just drive it so fast that you can pull out a gap of more than 2-3 seconds and just not worry about the guy behind you for a while. So it's either that, or it's be slow with the Porsche. So the tires are just so hard to take care of in that car, because it's just so light. It's so it's so eager to turn into the corner, when if you turn a bit too much, you can just lose the car. But Deepak, he gets a beautiful run through maggots and packets, where the car is just going to be more stable than the car in front. Again, eyeing for a move, occupying his mirrors, sort of dissuading him from his normal racing line is what you need to do as a car behind. Make sure you get the move done cleanly and not go for an outrageous side bomb. Again, just occupying his mirrors, sort of forcing him into a mistake, is what you want to do in this sim.
Yeah, it's a mind game right now. He's just trying to find out his weaknesses. He doesn't really want to go all in so early. He's got more than half of the race left. It's really just a point of where can I make a move safely? Where am I seeing his weakness consistently? And what is the right time? You can see the way Deepak Raj is driving, very calm, very collected. You don't see, I guess you see a couple of oversteering moments, but the car as a whole is quite stable through each and every corner. While Hari, right in front of me, you can see that Porsche sliding around so much more often. That just kind of shows you the temperament, the kind of condition in terms of pressure that Deepak is applying to Hari, and it's just a dogfight right now. We will see
with all due respect,
how it will pan out.
well, he's taking that pressure so well. I mean, I haven't seen a single, like visually, a single big mistake that's been forced by the Audi driver behind. So both these drivers are displaying a very, very sensible way of racing, where no one's too eager to defend roughly or attack roughly. They're just waiting. They're probably just waiting for the opposite tires to die out, so they can just get an easy move done. I think that's what's going on here.
Yep, just sticking close to him, keeping that pressure on. Nothing too much, nothing too audacious at this point in time. It was an interesting line from Deepak there, which is not the right side to be putting the pressure on, so to speak. But yeah, I think he gets away with it without a scratch.
I mean, it's allowed him to carry that much more speed on the exit there. Might have picked up a warning. I think something we haven't touched about is the track warning system. So you go off track, I think 3 times, and then you have one more time where you can go off track, and then you get a drive-through. Or a 5-second, I think. I'm not quite sure what the regulations are.
It is a drive-through, yes.
It's a drive-through, right? So wait, how has Davlish gotten that 5-second?
It must be for something else. It might be for an early start. We're not too sure. I'll probably have to go and find that out. What was the cause for it? But it's definitely not to do with the game. I have a feeling in that regard. But yeah, to kind of allude on your point with regards to the penalty system, if you just go off the track, is not a direct warning. People make mistakes. The game is smart enough to kind of realize that, give you a leeway as well. As long as you don't get a lasting and gain an advantage, then the system says like, okay, fine, you made a mistake, you lost time, we're not going to penalize you. But the system is quite adept at figuring out when you have taken advantage of the track limits, as Game 3 is trying not to at this point. His
Perfect
battle
time to
with
cut away to another driver. Oh, that's a bit of an old spinneroo around the circuit.
yep,
Not having the best of
taking
days
good
for the
amount of the
Audi driver.
sausage there for good message,
Yeah.
for good measure. Dude. But
But yeah,
that's
coming back onto that track warning system, I think, I feel it's a bit too lenient because, I mean, I'm pretty sure Deepak did gain an advantage by going out that wide on the exit of Stowe on the previous lap. But again, we don't know. We can't see if they've gotten a warning or not at the live feed that's being offered to us right now. But yeah, I'm guessing that he did, and you can visually see that he did gain time. So it's there, yeah, it's there to punish the drivers for being bit too. Yeah, it's a case of ambition over adhesion, isn't it? Where you get a bit too oversmart and you think you can just extend that much more, no harm doing, but then the game punishes you with a warning. But it's more often the case, in my experience at least, where the game's like, oh, all right, you gain an advantage, but it's not that bad, so you can keep it. We won't give you anything, but yeah, I mean, it's a topic for another matter altogether. But going back onto the action, we can see. I think Deepak's getting a bit too impatient right now. I think he's had enough. He really wants to get that move done because he's been staring at the back of that Porsche for a few laps, give or take. Now that Porsche really has a great acceleration coming out of the low speed corners, which is really hard to usurp for the Audi, which is I think a beast in on the straights on the higher part of the RPM. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's gonna overcome that with his lines he's taking. He's going to have to change the sort of approach he's going to take to through most of these slow speed corners, where he's going to have to maximize the exit rather than the mid speed corner. Is the Audi driver as he's approaching Stowe corner through the fast corners? You can see that Deepak is just that much more confident as he gains again on the Porsche. Is he going to go for
thinking
the
about a
send?
move.
I think he's going to go for the
Yes,
send. Ooh.
they're rubbing wheels. They're gonna go cross the wheel chicane, but Hari Krupanan inches forward, gets the right place on track, and keeps the position. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first inkling of real racing going on. That's wheel to wheel racing there, and that was fantastic example to show us how it's done. And Deepak Raj thinks
Oh.
about a stealthy move at the second opportunity that he gets, but thinks better of it. He's got that great car control, though he's going offline. He's got
Yeah.
great throttle control to not go into the back of the Porsche, and that's something that we definitely don't want to see. And that's a fine example of how to do good, clean racing.
Yeah, I mean, brilliant defense from Hari as well. Like, he placed that car perfectly. He was not having any of it because he knows that once Deepak gets past, he is going to fly away. Because if you can stick, folks, if you can stick behind a car for this long and not get a move done, you have a substantial pace advantage in a race trim. But then again, overtaking is another thing, and then catching up is another. So, yeah, Deepak is really going to have to play this out safely because damage is one more thing which he can add to his bucket list of misfortunes in this race. So, it's going to be interesting to see how much more longer Deepak is going to have to take his time because we're down to the halfway mark, nearly 11 and a bit minutes to go in the session. No, we are down to the halfway mark. This is a 30-minute race. What am I on about? But again, through Maggots and Beckett's, he gets a good line through there. But the Porsche just speeds away on the exit. As you can see visually on the picture-in-picture mode, the Porsche is just that much faster on the exits of the corner, just after the apex, where he's speeding away. But again, through Stowe, the Stowe corner is one corner where Deepak has been just more confident on the compared to Porsche. Again, occupying his mirrors, but the Porsche having none of it, stands firm on his defense. And though he had to go offline to do that, and that's sort of allowed Deepak to sort of get a run on him. Is he going to go around is he going to go down the inside into
I'm
loop
expecting a
section?
move right
Gets
now. Yep.
a beautiful line through the Abbey. You can see the car sort of squirming around on the mid corner of Abbey there, which just shows that his car is a bit on the edge. He set up his car a bit on the edge to the fast speed corners, which is going to give them that turn in, but it's that risk versus reward thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But yeah,
He got
another
so
lap.
close.
He has just cleared at the back of
Then
the
to
Porsche.
yep, he got so close that it kind of compromised. He couldn't get his track markers right going into the next corner, and you could see going out into turn one, the F1, into Abbey essentially, that the people got all squirrely and on the exit, and Hari was able to kind of edge out and not get into the clutches of Deepak on that kind of occasion. So it is a fine balance. You can't be too aggressive, because if you get too close and you're just not too comfortable being too close, you might be the one who loses a lot more time, and that's going to hurt your overall race.
Yeah,
That being
absolutely.
said,
Uh,
we have
yeah,
almost two whole corners between this fighting duo and Dovely Singh. And he's got a 5 second penalty. I'm going to be back in a quick second to find out what that penalty was for. The motive, please keep us updated
absolutely.
until then. Be back in a second.
Sure. As Kapil goes out to figure out how he's gotten that penalty, I think it's safe to say that the Vleesh is a bit of a Sunday drive here, and not pushing at all whatsoever. Just sort of cruising around this track, taking it all in. Probably a good chance for him to practice, his lines and whatnot. But with the gap he has, I doubt he has to do that either. Uh what are the plot lines developing right now? Deepak is just getting ever so close to that Porsche, but unable to get a move done. As is on the sim, just so hard to pass with these cars just not being agile enough for those mid-speed, those mid-corner corrections where you get the move done, where you get the distraction in for the car ahead. But yeah, I think at this point the tires are sort of dying out. So it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers are going to sort of slowly ease on into the final half of the race, the final third of the race, where they're not fully pushing because the tires are sort of dropping away from them, but they're not laying back either. Because especially Deepak, because he's got to move on the cards. You can see visually that the car is just right there in front of him. He wants to get past that blockade. He wants to overcome that wall that he's been staring at for the past 5 or so laps. But it's just going to take that much longer because Hari is just showing a beautiful display of defensive driving, which is another very, very difficult craft to master. But the Porsche is just taking advantage of that light car, that supreme acceleration, and also the driver keeping a very cool head with an Audi all over the back of him.
Hey, Moto. So the race is still hot between these two, huh?
Yeah. Any word on the penalty, couple?
Yeah, I'm just gonna give kind of a visual cue when we get to it on the next lap. But yeah, just stay on board these two. I mean, it looks like these two are dancing together. It just looks so beautiful at some point. I don't know. They're just together, head to tail, the entire race. You've got slightly different lines. Now you've got Hari losing it mid corner. You see Deepak Raj losing at the end of the corner. You see Hari going deep at the beginning of the corner. You see Deepak getting all close and then just completely screwing up the next corner. It's give and take. It's a beautiful harmony that you're seeing in this. I don't know. It's so poetic to me. I love looking at close racing, and honestly,
Yeah.
who doesn't? But yeah, just to kind of give you a heads up, or give you the news on what's happened to W Singh, as he went
Uh-huh.
into the first sector of the lap, which is the Maggots and Beckett section, which is going to be the next couple of turns here, into the
Yep.
next left right. Tavlish had a moment, and he had to take evasive action, and he essentially cut all of Beckett's. He just cut right through
Okay.
it, gaining a little over 2.5 seconds. And the stewards kind of had a look at it. No, no, no. He just had a lasting gaining advantage, and they slapped him with the 5 seconds, which honestly doesn't really matter at this point. But the stewards are doing the job as they should. That's good to see.
Dudes are doing their job, and rightfully so, but Davlish is just doing his job that much better to eke out a 20-second gap to P2. But yeah, Deepak again, right at the back of Porsche. As you said, a beautiful harmony of these drivers just constantly tying into each other. One driver makes a mistake, so does the other. Another driver gets a good exit, so does the other. So it's all, it's a game of dominoes going on right now, where they're all just making the same moves as the car in front or behind them.
And there he goes for the move.
He goes in the center.
Enough is enough.
Very late move there.
We've got a little under 5 minutes to go, and now is crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. He is now hot for moves. He is not sticking around anymore. That was a audacious dive bomb, and I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of that. He's thinking about a move, sizing it up, but Hari Kripanan makes fantastic work of a late break and just hugs that corner. He is beautifully defending his position there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that was a very late move from Deepak. I did not see that coming. It completely caught me off guard, but very well done in Hari to like sort of see that coming from a mile away literally and give him the space required. Not a single bit of wheel banging, which is just so pleasant to see, in sim racing, where you actually have clean racing but good tight racing as well. Aggressive racing. Aggressive but clean. That's like the borderline for, a fun battle. A condition for a fun battle, and rather as they come ahead into Maggots and Beckett's out of it now. And the Porsche just visibly just pulling away on the exits. That Porsche engine is just roaring away to glory on the exits, isn't it? And
Deepak's probably
Deepak
in real life probably putting his hand in the air. Yeah, Deepak's probably putting his hand in the air, thinking, "What am I going to do with this Porsche? How much more can I push?" He's just driving off into the distance during the straight. This is not fair. But we got under 3 minutes to go, and he has to find a way now. This has been his strongest sector so far. Now he's made a couple of moves into Vale. He's made a move into the end of Abbey, as we see here, but he's not close right now. And we've probably got only 2 laps to go.
Yep. Oh, a bit wide there on that loop section. I think he might have lost a bit of chunk of time. Yeah, you can see visibly he's a bit further back. 2.5 minutes to go. I think 2 more laps here for these two drivers. Definitely. So, yeah, let's place our bets. Why don't we? Do you think the move is going to be done, or do you think Hari's going to come out on top at the end of this?
You know my stance. I'm all pro Porsche. I'm pro Hari right now, so I'm gonna stick with him.
I mean, even I am, but with the way Deepak has been racing and driving in these last few laps, I think he's just going to go for another send.
Yep. But why don't we switch over to the other battle? This is for P5. Ajit Sam had a horrendous start. I mean, he was out and out. He lost 4 positions by the end of Sector 1, which is terrible. And he's finally got some footing. He's been kicking it out there. He's been putting in some great laps. And now he's close to P5. And that is a decent chunk of points. But because this is race 1 of 4, so we've got 1 qualifying and 2 races for day 1. We got another qualifying and 2 races for day 2, which will be on day 4 in this case. So every race counts. We've got 15 points on offer, 15 through 1. That's the point system for the top 15. In this case, we've got less than that. So in case everyone is getting points in this scenario, as long as they finish, but 1 point makes all that difference. Ajit
Great snap of
breaking
wrist over the
so
Lambo
late.
there. Yeah, I like how you calmly just, yeah, let's talk about the rules while there's a monumental battle going on in the last lap here. But no worries, we're back onto the action of the Lambo right under the collar of the blue car in front, the Aston in front, one of the safest cars in front. But is that safety going to keep him safe from the charging Lambo right behind him? Let's find out with the last few corners to go. Further ahead, I think Deepak has sort of lost more time, 1.3 seconds to Hari. So I think that battle is well and truly done. But this is where it's going to matter. This is going to go down to the last sector, down to the last few corners, folks. It all depends on this exit that Sam has to get from here. And let's see, he's going to tuck in right behind the slipstream, which is going to give him that much of the extra top end speed. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, I think it's a bit too little, too late. A day late and a dollar short, as you would say. And I think he's just gonna have to hang back and wait it out for the next event. Or if
No,
he's trying to get
there is one more
it.
lap to go.
There's one more lap. Never mind. There's one more lap to go. There's one more lap indeed, folks. And I think Sam has got a bit of a calling for a move to be made right now. And let's see what's going to get unfolded in this last lap.
Will it be a case where Nikhil Samri has pressed on the nose too early and he's counted his chicken too early? We have only a few more sectors to go. Dovli Singh is already in the final sector, about to lap our last place folk of Mr. Prithvi and Ajit Sam going to go side by side with Nikhil Samri. Going to go around the outside. Will he think better of it? Oh, he's going so close. He's basically touching the diffuser of that Aston Martin there. But Nikhil Samre is not giving an inch. He's going to think about a move around the outside. Not doing it in this case. He's placing his car in all the right positions there. We've got that fantastic cockpit view. Just to add to it, we've got a few more corners left. How is it going to end, Moto?
Yeah, into Abbey. They chuck the car in, the two of them. The Aston a bit too nervous in the turn in, which allows the Lambo to creep up that much closer right behind him. You can see in the cockpit cam, we have the picture-in-picture mode. The Lambo right up the rear of the Aston there, almost touching it, and he wants to get past it rather than touch it, rather. And it's all going to depend on this exit. He's going to get on this corner. And I don't think it's going to be enough. Again, the Aston just gets that much of a better exit, but she did on the last lap as well. Into Luffield. Let's see how much later the Lambo takes. The Lambo takes it easy. The Aston goes a bit wide on the exit. There is the Lambo trying to go and do the under and over. He's going for it, but the Aston just parks his car that much nicely. And I think that's it. That's all she wrote, and it's it. It's over for the Aston. And the pressure is lifted as he takes P5.
Fantastic drive from Mr. Samre and a fantastic drive from Mr. Krupanan as well. He finishes ahead of Deepak Raj through the entire race to finish in P2. Deepak Raj in P3 and, well, with a commanding lead, so to speak. Dovli Singh takes the victory in the first race for Group 1. And well, he's got a 5 second. That makes little to no difference in the end. So Dovli Singh takes victory, followed by Hari Krupanan. Deepak Raj in P3. Manupuri, aka Teg, is one in P4. Nikhil Samre with that beautiful defensive drive in P5. Ajit Sam, aka Axel Sam, in P6. Shantanu Shirsagar going to cross the line to be the last car at the end of the server. Yep, and there we have it, folks. That is the end of race 1. Whew. Well, I could take a breather from that. I think you were muted. I'm not able to hear you. We good? Coolio. No worries. but I'm not
Okay,
sure.
sorry for that, folks. A bit of an awkward moment from my side, but it's all good. Yeah, that was an exhilarating race there for us, folks. A lot of different plot lines unveiling there. And we had Deepak taking on the Porsche of Hari. We had Sam taking on the Aston of Samre. And we saw one battle come out, finished. I think both the drivers who were ahead kept that position. So, which just goes to show how hard it is to overtake in this sim if you don't have a substantial pace advantage. So, a couple thoughts on that because I thoroughly enjoyed it.
No, completely with you on that. It just shows you that the leading car just has so much of an advantage. He might be the slower car, but he puts it in the right places and he's got that advantage. And we've seen two fine examples of that in Silverstone. But that doesn't matter. I mean, yes, of course it does matter. My bad. That is a lot of points going on the side of Supreme Kai and Hari Kripanan. But we're going to go for a short break. We're going to come back for race 2. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a different track. We are going to Zolder. See you in a bit.
Make it last forever. Stop in time. Yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight. Chemicals collide. Hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only
my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Counting like the 4-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
Welcome back, folks. After that short break we took as we went off to discuss about the coming race in Zolder, I think we head to Belgium. The streets of Belgium, we have the circuit of Zolder. Very nice, tight and twisty circuit, completely different from Silverstone, which is a quite a wide circuit actually for GD3 standards. So yeah, a completely different ball game, and we're also heading straight to the race. So no qualifying, so no quote unquote practice time for the drivers whatsoever. It's going to be straight to the jugular to the race, and yeah, Kapil, what are you looking forward to in this session?
Well, I'm actually looking for some spins. So we've got Zolder, which has one key corner, which is notorious for catching people out. We've got, I believe that's turn 4, 5, and it is a Hail Mary corner many times. You can get a lot of time getting it just spot on. You can spin out in spectacular fashion by getting it all wrong. So I am expecting at least someone, maybe in the last lap, maybe in the dying laps, to make a Hail Mary move and see how it goes. So I'm very, very excited to see that. So without further ado, let's jump into the action, shall we?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, that, I
30
think that
minutes.
corner you're referring to is the chicane, isn't it? It's that very orangey, if you will, chicane where it depends how high the car is set up. So if a car's too low, you're going to hit that curb, you're going to clatter it, and you go flying off into the distance. So yeah, it's a bit of a hail mary corner as you mentioned. So it's going to be interesting to see what cars are going to do well and what cars will actually go flying. As we have 10 seconds cool
10
down,
seconds.
another rolling start with the Vleesh leading the pack once again.
Yep. The order is the same as qualifying. So Deepak Raj is at P2. So even though we didn't get get him on the line in Silverstone, it's all back to square one. And the black Ferrari leads the pack one more time for the last time today. But he will be back on day 4. But yeah, Modo, take it away for the race start.
Yeah, Zolder, completely different ball game. Tight, twisty, narrow, treacherous circuit, especially Sector 1 where you can get the car beached. But it's a completely different ball game, and let's see how our drivers tackle it as we get ready for green flag racing conditions. The black Lambo leads the pack into turn 1. A lot of different lines taken through here. Very clean altogether for everyone. No RG bargy, no contact being made anywhere. As again, Hari gets to move on Deepak Raj. He gets to jump once again in consecutive races. Deepak is not going to be happy about that whatsoever. He's been jumped again for the second
He's
time
been
coming,
caught napping for the
and
second time.
yeah, and it's going to be very, very painful for him to see that Carpus is a bit of gaggle cluster going on into the chicane as they head. And Deepak gets the line a bit wrong because there's another car of Puri who's sending it down the inside, but I think he's dropped back a bit as they go over and then under the hill and then into this chicane as well, Kapil. Another very weird chicane.
Oh, he's clapping the ball out there, Deepak.
Yeah, it can be decimating that ball out. But yeah, very Mickey Mouse section for as well. A lot of moves can be made through that part of the circuit as well. But once again, the leash flies by. And once again, Deepak finds himself behind the Porsche of Hari.
I can visibly hear the screams of Deepak right now saying, how can I let this happen a second time? I need to get some clean air. This can't be happening again. This time around we got 3 cars in the battle. At the end of lap 1, W Singh leads with a 1 minute 32.3 with Hari and Deepak right behind him. We've got at the back, you've got Ajish Sam, who's not had the best of starts once again. He had a bit of a moment into turn 4 and got a bit of hit the sand. So the next corner that's coming up, that is a super unforgiving. The entire track is quite unforgiving, but this one in particular, if you get 2 wheels on the sand, there is no curb, there is no AstroTurf, there is nothing to be, to give you any sort of safety. If you go overboard, it's all or nothing, and that actually summarizes Zolder very well.
Yeah, that sand is going to retard the car very, very quickly. So it's like you have a good exit, but then you touch the sand and you get slowed down instantaneously. And the car behind you, even though he messes up his line, the fact that he's not touched the sand is going to give him that much of an advantage. But yeah, heading out of this medium section and onto the uphill and then downhill, another very important overtaking zone is hairpin, where you go for a
Oh,
very early
Manipuri
flex.
complete.
Ooh, truly almost going into the back of Deepak, but yeah, that mistake is going to cost him a lot of time as he's lost a lot of time with the cars in front. But tell you what, Deepak is looking very, very feisty in this one. He's not waiting it out that much longer. He wants to get this move done as soon as possible. He does not want to stay lagging behind that Porsche like he did in Silverstone. I think Zorda is going to be a place of redemption for the Audi, and it's going to be fun to watch. Oh, as I've given him the commentator's curse as he touches the gravel a bit and loses out to the Porsche in front. Loses a bit of time to the car in front, and yeah, not what he wants to do. Not those mistakes are not what he's looking for right now.
Well, looks to be a tale very similar to Silverstone. He's got to do all that work again and again and
Yeah.
again. The curse of Deepak Raj here in day one of Qualifier 1. Not looking up to a lot up for him. Similarly, like you've got Manipuri who made that mistake behind, and now Ajit Sam is closing up on that gap. So
And
plenty of battles on the verge here at Zolder. Meanwhile, a black Ferrari just stealthily goes by the circuit, taking all the lines to pitch
what is
perfection,
that
just
gap?
showing how it's done.
That gap is
Mm,
ridiculous, man.
yep.
Oh boy.
Well, that what can you say about this, man?
Unrelenting, as you said. But yeah, let's see. You know what? Zolder is a circuit which will benefit the Porsche a lot because it's so agile, as we mentioned, so eager to turn in. And the circuit like this, where you have so many consecutive corners, so many tight, twisty corners, like the chicane, all the chicanes actually just are going to benefit the Porsche that much more. And with the short traction zones as well, that's just going to accentuate his advantage that he's going to have over the Audi. So it's not looking good. Tell you what, it's not looking good for Deepak right now. He's got a huge hurdle to overcome, and let's see how he's going to progress.
Well, this corner, the Hail Mary corner, could be one of his saviors or could be his undoing. We'll have to wait and watch. Or it could be the next chicane that we see here. We gotta see different lines through the course of the race, mounting the curve or sending it balls in and then losing out on the exit or taking it cautiously, thinking about the rest of the straight or the curved straight, so to speak, the flat out section that comes there. Having said that,
Oh,
Kripal
what an
goes deep.
exit!
Deepak Raj gets a fantastic exit. You rightly said so. We're going side by side in barging wheels, so to speak. Who's going to make it first into the braking zone? Side by side, Hari Kripalan says, nope, not yet. This is still my turf. Beautiful racing.
Ah, beautiful. Beautiful sequence of racing right there. Deepak, yeah, he pounced again. A Hail Mary dive bomb into that hairpin, which I told you was going to be a very potent overtaking zone. Um, but again, Hari's Porsche stays strong and defends that position like a champ. And he's really, I tell you what, he's really driving so well. I mean, I haven't seen a driver under this much pressure and not make a mistake, a visible mistake, in a long, long time. So yeah, all props to him. He's doing a fantastic job. But so is Deepak for keeping it clean and not going for an outrageously implicit move where you end up doing harm to your car and the car ahead. So it's all in good reason. It's within good reason, this racing, and that's what you want to see. Borderline aggressive but clean.
This time around, there is a slightly different story in this battle. Deepak last time around had the liberty. He could have gone, made an audacious move. He didn't, surprisingly. He didn't ever put himself in such a position that they're going to slow both of them down. He was very collective. He tried once or twice, didn't pan out, and he just said, "Fine, I'll take these points." Will he do that again? I don't think so. But also having said that, he doesn't have that luxury this time. One, because this track can eat you up with the slightest of mistakes. There are no curves. There's nothing to save you if you were to go. You see, he's already using all of the track. A little bit more, and you've got the gravel trap on the outside.
Yeah.
Having said that, you've also got Manupuri and Ajish Sam right behind them. He does not have that buffer. He can't use his raw pace to stick around and just be happy in P3. He makes one extra mistake, he's going to feel that pressure from behind than the front.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He does not have the luxury of, being a bit with it and being a bit risky with his moves. He can't afford that because those cars are right behind him, as you said. They've clean starts and they've had a clean start in this one. So they're right up there in contention for these positions, even though the gaps are quite large right now. But one mistake and bit more of battling, and those guys behind will catch up instantaneously. So yeah, these guys need to be really clever about their battles because they do not want to fight each other and lose out time to the cars behind, which is going to induce that much more chaos. And that's one thing Deepak and Hari really want to avoid. But
True.
yeah, very well said about Zord as well, Kapil. Like, the gravel is right there. It's right on the edge of the curbing. You want to take a bit of a wider line, bit of a wider exit, bit more liberties on the exit, and that's it. You're just going to slow down the car that much. You're going to beach the car even worse. And I mean, it's probably race over from there because I mean, Zolda already narrow enough, tricky enough to pass on. You lose that much time, it's probably all over for you. So it's really interesting how different the approach for getting a move done on the circuit as opposed to Silverstone is. But speaking of moves, is Deepak going to go for one? No, he just again occupying the mirrors of the Porsche, but the Porsche ever so strong with his willpower and his knowledge of racing. You know that Deepak is just trying to scare him into a mistake, and he's not being dissuaded whatsoever. He's just staying strong mentally and on track as well.
This corner, this exit, like you pointed out last time, this is where Deepak is way stronger.
Yeah.
You can see that Hari has to defend. He's got so much better of an exit speed. He's going to go try round the outside this time around. And will he get the move? I think they're head to toe going into the next corner. He goes onto the grass, retaliation. But this time he has the inside for the corner. And finally, Deepak Raj moves up into P2. Curry is not far behind. He's going to try and push. It's going to be sweet now. Making that
and
move.
Guess what? This battling is allowed. Great move. Guess what? This battling is allowed the Beamer to, invite himself to this party. So that's another car in the fray, and it's turned into a three-way fight. Not yet, but it's gonna soon enough. But yeah, great move there by Deepak. Very clean racing, wheel to wheel in that chicane. And that's great to see on a track like Zolder as well, where
there he goes.
There you go. And you can see the Porsche's godly acceleration being brought down to a mortal level to the likes of the Audi, as he's just stagnated and not, caught up to the Audi where he should have on the exit. But yeah, that's what touching the gravel does, folks. It's an absolute no-no. You can lose so much time and momentum through that corner.
Indeed. You got two green cars. You've got a veggie sandwich. I don't know. That's what's coming to my mind right now. You got the mayonnaise in between, and you got lettuce
mayonnaise in the middle.
Yeah. So it's interesting. This is a good battle. G Sam he's just going to stick around and see if there's any one of these folks. But it's great to finally see Tegiswan finally getting a chance. And I want to say the rest of the podium. But very similar lap times. That's great to see. You have that skill gap. You've got a very tight, close knit racing. The smallest of mistakes, a bit later on the throttle, a bit later into turn in, and you're in the gravel trap, and you've got that competition right at your defuse.
Absolutely, and what's interesting to note is oh, whoa, okay. That was a jump scare and a half there as the car just meandered into the wall. But yeah, I think that was just a technical issue as Puri is just all fine. No way would he voluntarily do that. But yeah, it's interesting to see that Deepak is still being pressured by the Porsche behind him. So yeah, it's the roles are reversed now. It's going to be Deepak who's going to have to, usurp the pressure which is being offered by the Porsche constantly. So he's going to play some mind games right now. I think, is he going to try and commandeer the pace of the cars behind, or is he just going to try and pull away? I'm not quite sure what the right decision is, because if you're just trying to pull away, and that's just more invitation of a mistake being made, because you're just driving that much more recklessly.
Yeah, and it's a matter of self confidence at this point in time. You've got free track. You choose your lines. You're not being dictated. And let's think about Deepak for a moment. He had to adapt himself to Hari's lines for over 30 minutes in Silverstone. And it
That's
was
true.
kind of looking to be the case in the first half of the race as well, but he's got that move done. Now it's his time to shine. Hari is trying, but you can see that he's not able to keep up at the moment. And actually, Manipuri is quite close to Hari Krupanan at this point. Actually, oh wait, both of them got way better exits than Deepak Raj. He's taken it very, very cautiously, so to speak. And the gap has come down staggeringly to under half a second. So this battle is back on, ladies and gentlemen.
So, folks, this is a rare thing to see in GT3 racing. These gaps are not normal, but you're getting the luxury to see it and just take it all in, because we have a great battle just unfolding and unraveling in front of us right now. Puri is right. He's like a cat ready to pounce on the rack front. He's Puri,
pouring,
Hari
so to
has had to
speak.
defend again. Hari is finding himself to defend again, once again, but not from Deepak, from another green car of Puri right now. So he's found himself in a very awkward position. But then again, in Sector 1, I think in Sector 1 he's got a really large advantage over the car in front. But in Sectors 2 and 3 is where Deepak is sort of eking out a gap. So it's all sort of constant eating into each other in these pace advantage and deficits right now. So
Indeed.
it's going to be an interesting one. I have no clue who's going to come out in front. Tell you what, I think what's going to happen is the first to make a mistake is going to be the loser, and he's going to end up on the back of this pack right now.
Completely agree with you. With such close racing, it's a battle of nerves. It's a battle of who can break late but stay in control, because you got Hari going deep and he's got cut off Manipuri right there, and you got Deepak Raj who's going to take that as an opportunity to extend his gap on his strongest corner on the track, and it's gonna come down to, can you get it right when it counts, and in this case every lap counts. You cannot take your foot off the gas, but it looks to be, as it seems right now, that Hari is trying a little too hard, and Manupuri is
the Porsche
very, very close,
very deep into that chicane, and Puri is right behind him. I think he got a bit dissuaded by Deepak's very early braking, so he just sort of missed the apex of the first corner, which allowed Puri to just creep up behind him. But again, the gap is just equalized because none of these drivers want to make contact and ruin each other's races, which is completely respectful. I mean, that's the most important thing, that you don't ruin yours and the other driver's race. So it's all in good sportsmanship right now. This battle. But tell you what, yeah, I think I think all those friendship bands are going to be thrown away in the last few minutes of the race, where the overtake is actually going to count and the points are actually going to count. So yeah, it's going to be it's going to get quite chaotic in the last third or last few minutes of this race. That's for
If it's
sure.
not chaotic enough already, I mean, Krupanan is sizzling out there in Sector 1. He had almost 8 tenths of a gap with the start of the lap, and he's brought it all the way down to under 2 tenths at one point. He is really strong there. I don't know what it is
Yeah.
about Deepak right now, but he's not able to walk away. If anything, look at Krupanan, he's right on his diffuser, and Manipuri is right there as well. This battle is spicing up.
Yeah, but the Porsche's acceleration not quite strong enough to get the move done. As Deepak lives to see
Oh, he
another
goes
day,
deep.
but oh, he's going side by side into the sector, which allows Puri to get up the inside. Is he going to get the move done? A bit of contact there, but all in good favor there. But I think the Beamer is still alongside, going side by side into this fast right-hander. Hari goes around the outside. He's still keeping it in toe to toe into the RNG chicane. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Let's find out. It's going to be the Beamer. But
Who's
the
sending
Porsche
in
sort
man?
of creeps
Oh,
back up and
Ravi!
oh no! Oh boy.
Um, very contrary to his team name, that was not pure racing, and he unfortunately did not come out on top. In that, having said that, Ajish Sam is licking his lips right now. He's probably got an opportunity to go up into P4, but Hari, after a great start, after having lost a position to Deepak, has fallen into the clutches and had that unfortunate incident. The stewards will be looking into that. It's not, we can't really say who's at fault at the moment. It looked like a racing incident to me, but the stewards will have their say and dish out any appropriate penalties. We never
Yeah,
wanted to go to the
definitely
stewards,
agree.
honestly. It, it, we've had exceptionally clean racing today. This is just one of those incidents, and it tends to happen. Rubbing is
Yeah.
racing at the end of the day, but yeah, he lives on to fight another day.
Well, he's lived on to fight against Sam right now, who's just creeping up right behind him. He's seen the mistake from the Porsche, or he's known to the fact of the mistakes in front of him, and that's just given him an opportunity to get up another position into the top four, which is, I think, the last place of the prize pool, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, this is a battle for actual monetary value right now. So Hari is going to be very cautious with his driving, and he's not going to defend too aggressively, wherein he takes himself and the driver behind out. So this race of his has turned into a battle of securing this position right now, because that's all he has to focus on. He does not have the substantial pace advantage to eke out that or catch up that 4.9 seconds he's dropped back to Puri. Puri, meanwhile, does not have the pace advantage which Hari had on Deepak, so he's dropping back from him, and I think that's all she wrote for Deepak's race. I think that's wrapped up for him, and that's secured him a P2. So I think that's the end of that. But coming back onto this battle, uh, AJ Sam, who's looked very quick in the first race, but he had an offing which caused him to drop to the back of the grid. He has a chance, a limelight of a position to be gained right in front of him. What do you think is going to happen? I think Axel might just go for the move at the end of it, because it's just there's so much weight behind that P4 position right now. He just has to go for
Yeah.
it. Oh, catching that oversteer.
Both of them making mistakes there.
Yeah.
So the pressure really getting to both of them. We're well into half the race. We got a little under 8 minutes of racing to go, and yeah, Hari had the fortune in the first race. so he is in a better position to retain, or actually has a better chance of moving on to the next stage. So that's why it's so much more critical for the likes of Ajish to make that position, really push his side as well, because he did not have that luxury the first time around. Having said that, Manupuri, he was in P5, he's in P3 this time, which is a way better result so far.
Yeah, I
And him
think
converting that into
Puri's taken
P2.
my words. He's taken my words in from one ear and thrown them out the other because he's not giving up on Deepak Raj. He's right behind him, and I think he's going to go for the move at the end of it. So yeah,
So
apologies
sub
for that, Puri. I
130
think
lap.
you are a very good driver who's getting very close to the rear of that Audi, and I think the
Going
move is
down the
on. They're going
inside.
side by side in this corner.
It's a carbon copy move. He's made taking the same move as he did with Hari, and really get it this time. The side by side, it is a carbon copy. I cannot stress how similar the move is. He's going to go around the outside. Deepak has the inside. They're rubbing wheels once again. It's the Hail Mary corner. Deepak Raj has kept the position this time. He's going into the section which he is stronger in, but is he consistently stronger is the question. We're getting this battle. It is a little dirtier than before. That is purely because of the track. It's just that demanding. You just don't have the space for two cars, so somebody has to yield. And in this time of the day, nobody's yielding. So you expect some dirt to be thrown around. Having said that, Deepak goes little deep, but still is able to keep some of that minimum speed, and the gap remains at half a second with a little under 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, Deepak wasn't having any of it. Puri was trying to go around the outside, but Deepak was just refusing to give him that space. But again, Deepak not quite getting the necessary exits from these tight chicanes to get a good enough, a safe enough gap. Again on the exit, getting very wayward, which has allowed Puri again to get up the inside, probably go down the inside. No, gets a bit of oversteer, snaps of oversteer, corrects it very well, and I think it's going to be taken to the next lap. Yeah, sector 1 is where Deepak has looked very wayward. His lines are very clean, but he's not been quick enough for that sector, which has allowed his competitors to just eke out that much of a gap.
There's the Hail Mary.
Or close that much gap to him. Well,
there is the Hail Mary. Is he going to send it down the inside? He's thinking about the move, but Deepak absolutely unflinching there, finally going into the sector where he's a little better. He gets that traction, and you can see the Audi just drive in away. Come on, Deepak. That is some fantastic driving there. Give him a break.
Yeah, but Puri really nailed that Hail Mary chicane. He got such a fantastic run into that corner and out of it as well. But yeah, I think the nerves are definitely at play because Deepak, while that was a great exit right there, the sector 1 is going to be his downfall, I reckon. Because that's where Puri's just got that much more of an advantage mentally and literally on the track as well. He's just placing his car that much better than Deepak is. I tell you what, Deepak's constant, having to stare at the back of another car following his lines is sort of made him forget how to drive in clean air because he's not quite extracting enough from the car. But having said that, he's just opened up a substantial gap to the beamer behind him, 0.8 seconds, almost a second right now. And yeah, when the time comes, Deepak is delivering right now. Yeah.
Yep. That's good. That's good. In these dying moments, that matters more than anything. If you ain't gonna get it right the last time, it doesn't matter if you got it right the 99 times before that.
Run again from Puri from the Hail Mary section. He's eaten up that 8 tenths gap and just brought it down to 2 tenths nearly over there. Yeah, through the Hail Mary section where you're supposed to chuck the car in is where Deepak is taking a bit easy because he doesn't want to spin out and just lose that podium for no reason whatsoever. But a bit of yes, if you will.
Oh, he's going a little deep this time. That's going to invite Manupuri. He's already looking down. He wants to make that move. Will he? Unlikely this time around, but he is super close. Deepak goes deep,
Oh,
and Manipur goes right wrong the outside and squeezed. It's difficult to see a car of that size being pushed out wide by an Audi, a sleek little Audi, but that's what you just saw there. And we are going into sector 1 again. Deepak going deep, and Manipuri is right there on him. This is his sector. This entire sector, all the way through the Hail Mary corner, is where Manipuri shines. And this is probably the second last time you might get to make this move on Deepak Raj and cinch that second position. So it's all to play for. He stops the gravel trap, and that's not looking good. You can see the excitement from Manipuri. He wants to make that move. He sends it around the inside. The BMW is just eating that chicane beautifully, and this is his chance. He's going to think about the move. Just side by side into the chicane. Will he put his nose through? He thinks better of it. Tries going around the outside. Wow. Now that's a little too ballsy there.
Folks, I hope you're having a look at the gap which Hari is eating back up. The time he lost is all being eaten up by that Porsche, because these guys are just constantly battling out with each other. So it could come back to a three-way fight with Hari at the tail end of it. But we do know that Hari has the base advantage on both of these guys in front of him. So it's we have a prospect for a three-way battle in the last minute. Horrible exit there, all over the grass, and he's going to lose a lot of time to the car behind. Heading into the final two laps, I think. Probably this is the final lap.
Yep,
this is the final lap, yeah. This is definitely the final lap.
No,
2.1 seconds in one lap,
more.
I don't think it's going to be possible for Hari. So, it's all down to these two. It's all down to the battle of P2, and let's see how they tackle this lap.
I think there is one more lap. Davlish is coming around the final corner right now, nearly. So there is one more opportunity, but yeah, we have to see the Hail Mary. He missed his braking marker completely, and that is not pretty to see. Hari Kripanan now just under second. No, the battle from attacking all this while to defending now from the Porsche behind. Will he be able to do it with little over a lap to go? We got to see, but Deepak Raj finally looks to have gotten his breathing space after so long.
Yeah, Deepak is going to be thanking his stars that he's made that mistake. But now the Beamer is going to have his mirrors occupied by a very small and powerful car of the Porsche of Hari. And it's going to be... let's see how this battle unfolds. We're down to the last lap. The Fleesh, I think, has crossed the line for his last lap. So, one more lap ahead of us. And it's all or nothing for these guys. This is for the podium positions, lads. So, surely they're going to fight it out as hard as they can.
Yep, no holds bar here for the final lap. Davli sector is in the Davli Singh is in the final sector. But we're going to keep our attention on this pair. Brakes late, trying not to touch that grass. Manipuri extracting every inch of that track. Going into Hail Mary corner here, into the chicane. Who's going to brake late? We've got, getting that spot on Manipuri. Getting
Even
the
with
time
the mistake
back.
he made, he doesn't care. Even with the mistake, he knows how to take that chicane. He will push that limit all the time, every single lap, and that just shows his confidence.
Both of them,
right there.
true. Both of them have got that cap down to a second. It may not matter in the end. Don't really think there's not all that of much of racing left. Going into the final sector, the final lap of day 1 of Esportz Premier Series 2023 with ACC for Group 1. It has been fantastic racing here so far. And as we go into the final sector, Deepak goes a little deep, and so does Hari Kripanan. But yep,
that's
crosses the line.
$1 shot.
There you have it, folks.
What a wonderful
P2 for Deepak Raj, P3 for Manipuri, and P1 for none other than doubly sick. Krupanan, Krupanan put made a
Yeah,
fantastic
what
fight
a race.
towards the end of it. Yep, and we love to see it. We love. This is why we love racing. It's 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 edge of the seat action all the way through, and honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. And once again, Zolder provides the action. It's tight and twisty and notoriously difficult and technical circuit. Did not prove that much of a challenge for these drivers because there was some really good wheel to wheel battling right there. So yeah, I'm pretty surprised by that because we had Deepak, we had Hari, we had Puri all fighting it out for like 4 or 5 laps, and at the end, I think Deepak won the battle and he came out on top. So yeah, great to see that.
Go Deepak. Fantastic stuff. Well, there you have it, folks. 2 hours of great racing, one qualifying, one Super Bowl, and 2 races, one at Silverstone and the next at Zolder. That kind of comes to the end of day one. These folks, this entire group, will be back on day four, and that day is going to be a bit of the same format, but in reverse in terms of the track selection. They're going to be qualifying at Zolder, with the Super Bowl at Zolder, with race one at Zolder, and race two in Silverstone. And for the prize pool, those times that they put in at Silverstone will count, and the times that they put at Zolder on day four will count, and all the points that they rack up with all these 4 races will finally let us know which of the 4 drivers of this group and each group that we'll see tomorrow and the day after that move on to the next stage of this series. So, Modo, any final words for today as we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, that was a great day one qualifying. We had great laps. We had some good racing. We had tight, aggressive racing. And I mean, if we're up for more of that, then, that's going to be great for the event because, there's one thing for qualifying, there's one thing to see the ultimate lap being set, but it's another to see the joy of wheel to wheel battling. And that's what racing is all about, the racecraft, the tire management, and whatnot. So, it's going to be a good one. I think we're on for a good show for tomorrow.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, well,
All
folks,
right.
that's it for today, and I think we're going to be just wrapping it up for today. And we've had a great first session. See you, folks, tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. on this channel, where we'll be preparing for the day two of the qualifying event.
Until then, ciao.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm done. expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
Messing with my head again. You had your heart set on me, but these feels, they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget, but you're breaking down my walls again just to set me free. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Staying up when I go out, you gotta know I'm all yours. But when I say what's that about, you start slurring your words. Tell me why you have to seem so distant when I'm holding you. Your fingertips are drifting away, and I fucking love how it hurts. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I
Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move to the rhythm. Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour. We still got a few more days to slay, It's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all.